I made the decision to run after the Parkland shooting. I'm thinking a lot of people made decisions around that horrible incident. So I made the decision to run. I currently live in Parkland, and one of the things that I noticed, or things that I've seen, is that the district became very divided. It became a Parkland against the rest of the district, and it didn't sit with me well. And I really wanted to see more of a collaborative, collective coming together with the entire county.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but when you said there was some division, was that partly because some of the students that went to Stoneman Douglas also live in Coral Springs, for instance? So it wasn't only that particular neighborhood. There were students from all from different cities in that area that goes to that school, and it seems as though that it was only families that live in Parkland that were affected, but there were also families in Coral Springs.
Yeah, parts of
other cities. I'm not so familiar.
Well, it's Coral Springs. Parts of Coral Springs is a feeder band for Douglas, so Douglas takes parts of it because the district is the way the district is set up. So parts of those students do go to the Parkland school, which was Stoneman Douglas, and Coral Springs felt alienated, as did the rest of the county. As I've been doing my campaign, I've been getting feedback from people, and one of the main things is that I hear is we're tired of hearing about Parkland. It's unfortunate, and it's not. You sympathize with people and you understand both sides. And my goal and one of the reasons I'm running, and I want to be part of that person that comes in and brings everybody together and have an opportunity to be a leader as a district, as a county, for the nation, for a county that really strives to make sure that safety and security is a top priority, and that other schools can model what we're trying to do here. And they've done quite a bit. They've done quite a bit.
And so, just for clarity, sometimes, people may say they're tired of it. And partly is because there are a lot of schools in Broward County that face some of the similar issues, right? There are students that are struggling. There have been other school shootings, not on the scale of Parkland, but there was some incidents a few years ago where there was a young woman that was shot at school. So there are some schools that continue to deal with violence at their school, and they may not receive the same amount of attention. And again, we're not to take away from the fact of the incident that happened in Parkland was horrific and terrible, and everyone is very sympathetic. But I believe some of the folks or some of the residents of Broward County who may feel a sense of when they say tired, they just mean that it's a lot of us. There's a lot of children. There's a lot of families in Broward County that are struggling in the school system for very different reasons, and they're not getting that attention. And they would also, yes, not them getting attention shouldn't take away from Parkland, but also Parkland getting that much attention shouldn't take away from all the other schools in the county being represented. And
I can give you an example of one of the things that was not put a light on the rest of the district is that when the incident happened in Parkland, most, if not all, of the resources from the district was taken out of the rest of the district, the rest of Broward County, to accommodate the students and the parents and the families in Parkland. And for about a week or two, or maybe sometime, I think even about a month, the rest of the district was just operating, at a minimum. There was a lot of counselors that was dispatched over to Stoneman Douglas, a lot of, trauma counselors that are trained in trauma, and the rest of the district couldn't really use those personnel because they were all dispatched. And we understood that. I believe the district understood that. I believe every city in Broward County understood that this is where the hot spot is, and this is where most of, if not all, the resources need to be to help that community. I just believe over time, the sentiment is that, the district wasn't highlighted to show that, listen, we all suffered. And that's how we all suffered, because we all had to go without in order to provide for an area. And
another way of suffering too, in the sense that it just happened at that school. A lot of times people live in fear that what if it happens at our school, right? Because no one knew, because we have especially when media makes attention to certain things, there's this whole idea of like copycats, you know,
Yeah.
so the other children are going to school not knowing if it's time for their school today. Because part of the reason why I think everything was so shocking in Parkland was because no one expected it to happen there, right? That's not something that you expect to happen in that community. So it was shocking, it was terrible. But I think definitely that those resources needed to be dispatched there. But I think they also in the county, this is just me talking, not you as the candidate, that the county needed to acknowledge that there were other students that were living in fear, and there were parents that were afraid to send their children back to school because they didn't know if something like that could have happened.
Absolutely, and those are and that's the sentiment I've gotten when I've been campaigning, is exactly what you just said, and I sympathize with that, because I totally completely understand something like that it just doesn't affect the city that it happened in, it affects the entire county, because we're all in this together. It's one Broward, it's not, you know, parts of Broward, it's one Broward, and you know, I have been pushing that ever since the tragedy happened. I've always said, you know, Broward strong, because we all suffered. Throughout the county, many parents really expressed how heartbroken they were over that shooting. They were very heartbroken. They couldn't imagine. They don't know how the parents are doing. They've been praying for them. So you know, while I'm here and I have this opportunity, I want people to know that the entire Broward County was very, very hurt by what happened, and was very, very upset about what happened as well. And they share the pain of the parents and the community here in Parkland. And I just want people to understand that that's what's going on in the county. I don't want it to be where they don't realize that that's what it was. We all suffered together. We did.